Desert's first major marijuana grow facility now open for business. The Desert Hot Springs facility had its official opening ceremony just yesterday. The 10,000 square foot facility is the first of about 50 similar operations that are already in the works, planned to open up over the next several years in that city. City officials say this will generate major tax revenue and will improve the city's outlook.
This facility is built with all of the state-of-the-art equipment to provide a safe cultivation environment for all of our patients.
City and business leaders attended the grand opening along with local Boy Scout troops who led in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, it is 7 minutes past the hour. Get a little more in-depth here with our weather. Samara, what are we looking at today?
Yes, good morning. It is Friday, and it's going to be a good-looking weekend, or at least for today and Saturday. There's some shifts happening as early as Sunday, talking about wind conditions. But for right now, we're going to focus on the calm. It's going to be a beautiful day. You'll notice a few clouds, and here's the way our hour-by-hour forecast is tracking for you. So it's going to be a very nice and cool couple of hours before we get that nice little warm-up in the 80s, and then into the 90s we go. Now turning over to traffic. Good Friday morning as we hit the roads this morning together. We're in this traffic. We're going to try to outsmart traffic together. And as we're taking a look across the valley today, very quiet this morning. So go ahead and get up and go wherever you like this morning. The 10 freeway also, I'm going to turn on the highway flow, all green. Make sure you be careful out there. And that's a look at your traffic. If you'd like to contribute to our traffic reports, go ahead and download the Waze app. Dan?
All right, thanks, appreciate it. For those of you going to Desert Trip next month, it's literally just a couple weeks away, you may understand why it is so unique and a special event. But there are some who just don't get it. Our Vince Marino shows us why it's the most anticipated music festival in the desert this year.
The bands are legendary.
There must be some way out of here.
Their songs unforgettable.
She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Z generation, go ahead and check it out because you don't know what you're missing if you're unfamiliar with these three acts. They are truly legendary.
But there may be some people who don't quite understand the gravitas that performers like the Rolling Stones, Paul McCartney, and Bob Dylan bring to the table.
What's special about these 6 performers is they're really icons of an era, and that really hasn't changed much in the last 50 years if you think about it.
I caught up with Michael Felci of Chord Media. While many of us think of Taylor Swift when we consider today's biggest singer-songwriters, Felci explains there is one guy who started it all.
Dylan, you know, he's known as the spokesman of his generation. He was the first one to show that you could really be a successful singer-songwriter, and that term really comes about from him.
Expectations for the concert are high, and even if the players aren't in their prime,
It's fabulous. It'll never happen again. So the people that are going to see it is going to be wonderful.
And these guys still have it, I will say that. I mean, you can't go there expecting 1966, because that's not going to happen. However, this is a historically significant gathering, and I don't think you'll see the likes of it ever again.
Vince Marino, KMIR News.
Yeah, it is a big deal, and they are huge names, and can't wait to see it. Hey, something you may want to take advantage of this weekend in Palm Springs, the tram. It's reopening tomorrow. If you recall, remember we told you it was closed down a couple weeks back for their annual maintenance. Well, back up and running. The completed projects included some upgrades on some bearings, of course, a tram systems and mechanical testing. That's always good, right? Want to make sure it's running smooth. The first tram scheduled to head up at 8 a.m. Go up and enjoy some of those cooler temps. 10 minutes past the hour on a Friday. Happy it's the weekend? Straight ahead when we come back. New developments in that deadly train crash in New Jersey. Now investigators working to find out what went wrong. The engineer cooperating with investigators, and the black box has been recovered. More on this straight ahead.
Since 2009, California hospitals willingly pay a Medi-Cal hospital fee to continue receiving federal matching funds for Medi-Cal, bringing us $3 billion a year, providing health care for children, seniors, and families. Zero consumer cost, no new taxes, and prevents the legislature from diverting funds. Maybe that's why it's got such broad support. and no organized opposition. It's a good idea that's been tested, tried, and true. Yes, on 52.
Happy anniversary! We're celebrating our 39th anniversary with historically low monthly payments.
You'll get so much furniture for such low monthly payments.
There's no interest until November 2021 with equal monthly payments. That's right, till November 2021.
Now you get even more furniture for less, much less.
Historically low monthly payments.
It's our 39th anniversary and you're invited.
Come celebrate with us at More Furniture for Less.
Correcting vision with absolute precision. Moloscus Eye Institute is the premier LASIK practice in the Coachella Valley. Our safe, careful, comfortable process will help you see your best. Utilizing custom 100% bladeless technology, most patients return to normal life the next day. Moloscus is affordable, zero down, 0% financing up to 2 years. Trust your vision to Moloscus Eye Institute. You will see. Call 1-800-NEW-EYES today for your free LASIK evaluation. Visit us at deserteyes.com.
Turf Store Direct. No water necessary.
KMIR News is brought to you in part by General Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Call the General.
Welcome back. Let's take a look around our nation now. Investigation continuing this morning into that deadly crash of a commuter train in New Jersey. We now know one person, a mother, was killed and more than 100 people injured. We're now learning more about that mother and learning more about the crash. Investigators working with the engineer, who is said to be cooperating with them, plus the black box just discovered overnight. NBC's Jay Gray has the very latest.
In just minutes, the morning rush unraveled.
I have heavy structural damage. I have people trapped on the train. Major casualty.
Train 1614 on the New Jersey Transit line sped into the Hoboken station, slamming into and then over the bumpers at the end of the track.
It was just, it was horrific. It was an explosion of concrete dust, electrical wires.
The canopy above the terminal collapsed, falling to the ground along with steel beams, bricks, and shattered glass. 34-year-old Fabiola Bittard de Crone was standing on the platform. The Hoboken resident and mom was killed by falling debris.
And we just heard people screaming in the first car that they were trapped. They couldn't get out.
More than 100 on and off the train were injured, including the engineer, who's said to be cooperating with the National Transportation Safety Board investigation into the crash. Witnesses say the train never seemed to slow down. NTSB agents hope to get key data from the crash from the train's black box.
From the event recorder, we hope to get information such as speed and braking.
Investigators do have access to the locomotive, but to this point, structural damage to the station has kept them out of the rest of the train. Jay Gray, NBC News, Hoboken, New Jersey.
An officer is in serious condition this morning after being shot while serving a search warrant at a home in Kingman, Arizona. Officers responding to the home served a search warrant related to stolen property, we're told, sometime yesterday morning, and that's when the shootout occurred. One man dead now, the police officer wounded. 53-year-old Jeffrey Claire Cave was killed in this officer-involved shooting. It's still unclear, though, what actually triggered the shootout. Investigation is still ongoing. No word yet if that officer was wearing a body camera, and if so, whether or not police in Kingman will release the video. The teenager accused of shooting 3 people, including 2 students and a teacher at a South Carolina elementary school, will appear in court this morning. The judge has not decided whether cameras will be permitted into juvenile court. A 6-year-old boy remains on life support this morning. We know that the teacher and the other student wounded were released from the hospital yesterday. And over to Tulsa, police there. The officer Betty Shelby, seen in this pic, expected to have her day in court today for her arraignment on her first-degree manslaughter charge. Shelby is the officer who shot and killed 40-year-old Terrence Crutcher, an unarmed black man, 2 weeks ago. Dash cam and aerial footage of the shooting showed Crutcher walking away from Officer Shelby. as you see it right there, with his arms in the air. Shelby's attorney says that she opened fire when he began to reach into his SUV, thinking possibly that there was a gun inside of the vehicle. Investigators did determine that Crutcher did not have a gun. Former Israeli President Shimon Peres was laid to rest this morning in Jerusalem. Thousands of admirers and world leaders made an appearance at the ceremony, including President Obama, former President Bill Clinton, and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Peres, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, held every major office in Israel. He died at the age of 93 on Wednesday of this week, 2 weeks after suffering a stroke. Obama and Clinton are among the world leaders that also delivered eulogies in his honor.